Already. Welcome back, fam. We're your hosts, G Chromosome.
And Allison Morris. And welcome to Limitless Talk.
Can now is pedal to the metal. I can never quit now, I will never settle. Puppet to the game, I'm pulling strings like Geppetto. We in the same game, but I'm on a different level. I passed it. Gotta keep grinding till I'm laid up in the casket. No fake round, but you feeling too plastic. Yeah, y'all feeling too plastic. They say my style crazy, but then it's straight jacket. Wow.
Why you still testing my patience? Trying to turn me into something I ain't trying to be. All the hate is a heavy rotation. You gon' lose yourself, quit testing me. Don't make me lose my mind. Don't make me lose my mind. Don't make me lose my mind, cause I'm looking like Wesley, test me. Don't make me lose my mind. Don't make me lose my mind. Don't make me lose my mind, cause I'm looking like Wesley, test me. Test me.
Can now is pedal to the.
All right. I'm gonna need you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
That's you,
ma'am.
Lala, doing the most.
We have it, I'm trying to do this.
Hope you enjoyed her show.
Well, today is March 7th, 2022. Tonight, our title is Alternate Conceptions. And we'll be discussing in greater detail the issues with fertility and the power in educating yourself regarding your health.
Oh, okay. So this is all going to be in response to my recent appearance on the Judge Mathis show. So that's where the show actually, the Limitless Talk show was birthed from that show. So we wanted to go into greater detail and talk about some of the issues that was discussed during the show. So I wanted to talk more today about my experience with PCOS and with fertility issues and how you can make that, turn that dream into a reality.
Now, I just wanted to say something. For those of you who don't know what PCOS stands for, it stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, and is a hormonal disorder that causes enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the edge of your ovaries that forms a beehive honeycomb look.
Right. And it causes very painful menstrual cycles. And that was the reason why I got diagnosed in the first place at the age of 23. I went to my OBGYN, got that good insurance, and they ran a simple blood test and it found out that's what was the cause of it. And subsequently, I had other things going on. So that started the whole dialogue with, I thought I couldn't have kids. So it was definitely a challenge, definitely something that you don't want to hear when you're a young person, especially if you want a family. But there are alternative conception.
Right.
So let's bring on our guest for tonight.
Special guest,
Malika Owen. She is a professional chef. You got an applause.
All right. So we bring you in, right, huh?
She is a professional chef. She is my sister-in-law, and I wanted to bring her on to talk about both of these topics, and including the in vitro fertilization. So we'll jump right in. How you doing tonight?
Tired. Them in vitro babies.
Right. You got the whole Brady Bunch over there.
Right.
So how many do you have that were IVF?
I did 3.
You did 3. Okay.
Yeah, one was fresh and 2 were frozen embryos.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. Mm-hmm. Do you want to start with the questions, DeCarlo, or me?
You go ahead.
Okay, so first question: when were you diagnosed with PCOS? That's how we're going to start it off.
When I first was diagnosed with polycystic was when I was a teenager, and like some young African American women, well, I just say young girls in general. I just wasn't having my cycles regular, and my parents thought I was a little fast tail, and so they took me to the doctor, thinking, "Oh yeah, she's pregnant. Yeah, she's pregnant." No, I wasn't pregnant. I just was missing. My cycles just wasn't regular because of the PCOS, and so then that's when they did the whole where they give you birth control pills to take to try to get it on track. And I didn't like it because I was an athlete at the time playing sports, and it kind of make you gain weight. You know, you get meds to help with one thing, but then it caused another problem. Right. So it just ended up helping. So I ended up not being on the meds anymore. But it also it's just that the PCS gives you high testosterone levels for a young woman, where you can get a little facial hair, and that can be a little embarrassing, especially as a teenager. But I was only that's how we found out about mine, was because I just wasn't having the cycles regular. And most girls, you might not even want your cycle regular, especially as a teenager. You know,
Right.
you
Right.
trying
I
to,
just wanted to begin with. So
yeah. So really, I wasn't complaining about not having it, So I felt lucky. I didn't have them cramps all every month. I wasn't hurting all the time, and so I felt lucky until I found. Yeah, I mean, I was happy about that. As a teen, you're happy, but as you get older, as a older woman, and you start thinking about motherhood, or
Right.
you see other friends. I mean, back when I was growing up, teen pregnancy was a big thing. So a lot of girls that I grew up with or went to high school with, they all got kids. They all got babies. So to me, I felt lucky that I wasn't getting pregnant in high school and I wasn't having babies. I
Mhm.
thought it could be a blessing and a curse. So then when you get older, you start thinking about the changes, or what can I do about getting pregnant or having kids? And that's just part of fertility.
Right.
Okay. When did you decide you wanted to have babies?
I Well,
Children.
being that I am in a gay relationship, I knew that my partner could not get me pregnant. So we knew we would have to go the science route. So we just decided one day, we was talking to each other like, what's on your bucket list? And my bucket list was I wanted to actually experience being pregnant and having a baby. And at 39 at the time, it was like, that's gonna cost money. And then because I'm a chef, I kept saying, well, we can, if we had the money, we can make us some gourmet babies. So when I switched jobs,
Gourmet babies.
yeah, because I mean,
Gourmet
mix a little, yeah, IVF is mixing a little of this, mixing a little of that. So when I changed jobs and my insurance plan changed, and I just happened to read that they covered 10,000 for fertility and 10,000 for meds. You can't beat that. So
Mm.
we went ahead and tried it, and at 39 is when I had my eggs transferred and retrieved in order to have kids. And so it was just getting the eggs fertilized and going through a catalog, because the fertility clinic can tell you what they use, which cryobanks they'll use. And I went through the catalog and I put in my criteria of what I wanted. And then when the criteria of price came in, I did like most people. I went to the clearance. Oh, hey, hey.
You went to the what?
Wait a minute.
I went to the clearance aisle. I mean,
Clearance aisle for
You went to
IVF.
the clearance.
Okay.
That's what.
I went to the
That's what
clearance
we gonna call
aisle.
it.
I went to the clearance aisle. So
Okay.
we have a joke. I have a running joke that the donor's dad name is Clarence, short for Clarence. So if when the kids ask, I'm gonna let them know their daddy name is
Right.
Clarence Donor.
They be at school. My daddy named Clarence.
Wow. Wow.
Because I went to the clearance. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, because at the time you got to look at the price, and you paying for stuff. When I had guys that would tell me things like, "Girl, you ain't got to do all that. I give it to you for free." I mean, they want to do the regular have intercourse, and I wasn't trying to have intercourse. So and then when you was offering them money, they still was like, "I just do it to you for free, dude." But
Thank you, but no, thank you.
no, I'm telling them I want to do this whole contract. I want to do this paper,
Right.
and it was like, really? So I mean, me having kids, even though with having polycystic ovarian syndrome, it can't help. Just you may have to go the longer route with fertility. I mean, my route was a little bit different considering my sexual preference, but when it comes to fertility, you may have to go to a fertility doctor just to get your hormones right in
Right.
order to do it. And you may not have to do the whole IVF or in vitro fertilization. But if you go to your doctor, they may set you up where they get you healthy. They may have you eat differently. You may have to lose weight. They may have you on some type of vitamins. I mean, I know CoQ10 is a good vitamin for good egg quality, but because that's what the fertility doctor had us do. But I'm just saying, you just have to do a lifestyle change, because really when you have kids it's a lifestyle change. So you
Yeah,
need to start that lifestyle change right now. If that means stop smoking, stop drinking, stop going to the club, staying out late, get you more rest, drink more water, drink less
Right.
soda, drink less Kool-Aid. It's
yeah.
all about
Not
getting
the
your body
Kool-Aid.
right.
Don't take the
Don't
Kool-Aid.
mess up the
Don't
Kool-Aid
take the
now.
Kool-Aid away.
Drink less Kool-Aid.
I think that, that's a good point, because that's actually kind of what happened to me. Because when I was diagnosed, I was like, okay, that's it. And he's like, well, you can go to fertility treatment. The doctors, they always push for you to go,
Mhm.
do these things. But he did give me paperwork and told me I could change my lifestyle. And I took a sleep test and found out I had sleep apnea and all these things. They tried to put me on metformin for insulin resistance. So it was just a lot of stuff going on. But at the time that I conceived Samaria at the age of 30, that I was walking, I was at my ideal weight, I was very active, and like you said, I just took better care of myself. And here she is. It just happened really quick.
Now, doing fertility and going to a fertility clinic, it wasn't hard for me to get pregnant. I
Right.
mean, a lot of it was amazing that I got pregnant so easy and so fast, and that was surprising to the doctors, because they said that my body reacted as if I was in my 20s. And when I got pregnant and had the first baby, I was 40 years old, and that was when I did the fresh IVF cycle. And then we froze the rest of the embryos, and when we did it again, I was 43 and when I had Zayden. And then, so I now have a 5-year-old, a 20-month-old, and God bless my soul, I now have a 12-week-old little girl, which I had at 45. And every time I went and did an egg transfer, I became pregnant. But that's because I eat healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to make sure my body's in the right. Like you say, like your car got to run good if you want to take a long road trip. And
There you go.
so,
Gotta do
trying
the
to have a
tune up
baby,
and all that. Yeah.
you got to make sure you got your oil change, tune up, the tires is right. And that's the same way you have to do when it comes to your fertility and wanting to have a kid. You got to get a tune up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally.
Real quick, just so everybody who's watching, so you can have a little bit more visual for PCOS. These are the things that happens to women when they go, what they have to go through and what they have to pay attention to. That maybe if you're experiencing any of this and you've never been checked out, make sure you go to your doctor and get checked out and
It's a blood
see if
test. A
it's
simple blood test will tell you,
Mhm.
if you have these levels of this. And they can do a ultrasound, which is what they showed me. They actually did the wand and inserted it into where they could see my ovaries, and it was very alarming. It looked like a beehive, a honeycomb. And I was like, what is that? She's like, those are polyps, those are cysts, and so they had to do a biopsy and do all that, make sure it wasn't cancerous. But all of that was like, what? You have to ask for these things, because otherwise they're just gonna do, especially if you're going to the health department and things like that, where you don't have a primary care physician. Those things are overlooked all the time. If you don't ask for it, they're not gonna give it to you. They're not gonna offer for you to
Now,
find out.
something I've never really shared is that because I thought I would never have kids, when I went to the doctor one time and they, because my cycles were off, they went to the doctor and the doctor was saying that I was pregnant. And I was like, ain't no way I'm pregnant unless I'm married. And
Mary.
and when they found out that it was just that the hormones, I had a cyst. It was called a dermoid cyst that was on my ovary. And it was giving off the hormone of me being pregnant. And it even looked like it was a formed embryo of some sort. So I had to have surgery to have that removed. And when I went into surgery, right before I went in, the doctor said, well, there's a possibility if we can't just get it by taking it up, we may have to take your whole ovary and tube. And I was like, well, take it. I'm not going to need it. I'm not having no kids. Take it. Go on, take it. I don't need it.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then
Wow.
who would have thought years later, after my partner and I have this conversation about kids, that I'm thinking, oh man, I told him to take it. But then I had one ovary and one tube, and that's all it takes. It don't take 2 tubes and 2 ovaries. That if you can produce eggs, it's possible. Anything is possible, even after you've had a cyst removed or you've been diagnosed with it. You just got to make sure you get a tune up and make sure you keep your body right if that's what you want to do, is take that long road trip for parenthood.
So that leads us to another question about what made you decide that you wanted to be a mom at an age where it's considered a geriatric pregnancy?
Oh yeah, oh it's geriatric, all right. I mean, because
Wait.
We already know.
it's
He says
geriatric.
so as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah.
geriatric. I mean, I may not look my age, but when you go in there and you feeling all good and vibrant, like, yeah, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby, and then when you get there and then the nurse is like, yeah, it's geriatric pregnancy. Wow. I mean,
Right.
feeling good about yourself.
Like, look here now.
Well, I mean, I always wanted it, but it was about financial, to be honest with you. I mean, if maybe if I was in a heterosexual relationship and me and DeCarlo was getting it on the regular,
Hey.
yay, you know,
Look, we were
I
gonna
might-
have a lot of kids. We
I
look,
might have had a football team by now.
yeah,
But
the whole franchise got.
yeah, you know, shucks, we would have had our own little expansion team.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
we would have been the Garcias.
Team Garcia in the house.
Yeah, so silly.
Yeah, you know, straight out of Beaumont. Beaumont
hey,
Garcia.
hey.
But I'm just saying, we would have
New
been.
franchise.
It's just that I wanted to do it. I just didn't have. I knew it would take financial to do it, and so when I saw that there was an opportunity when it came to the insurance, it didn't give me a second or third thought. I mean, I would probably have preferred to have done it in my younger age, but I appreciate doing it at this age because I understand life a little bit better. Because still in my 20s and 30s, I still wanted to hang out and kick it a little bit more. And I wanted to travel more. I feel like in this way, because I've gone to college, I've had the opportunity to travel. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of things that most people probably haven't done in their lifetime.
Later in life to
I
do
feel
it.
like I can give more of me to that child and not leave that child with mama, sister, and them to babysit. Because I recall for myself, a lot of my friends, I ain't trying to down nobody, but I used to get mad at them because when we would get ready to go somewhere, they would have to ask their mama or somebody to watch the baby. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I had a problem with is when you get mad at your mama because she says, I ain't watching no kids tonight. And you're like, why you can't watch your grandkid? Because your mother has already raised her kids.
Yeah, she
And
has.
then you want to get mad at her because she won't watch your kids because you still want to go out and kick it. So for me, I need to get all that out of my system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you had to get your body right as far as for that journey with, you know, no more drinking and the smoking and what. Now I never was a smoker, but I sure would throw a glass back. I swear, I sure would.
Shots.
Right.
Yeah, I should have made that song. Shots. I should have made that song. So fertility is what you make it, and it doesn't matter how old you are when you start the journey. Just make sure you're ready for that journey, because when it comes to fertility, the journey ain't easy. Even if you're 20, it can, like you said, when you found out at 20 something years old that you had that issue, that kind of defeated you and made you feel like you can never be a mother. So that kind of never crossed your mind. And then when you get with someone and you end up becoming pregnant and they thinking, oh, that you trapped them. No, you was told years ago that this is not possible. But just be thankful that your swimmers were strong enough to make it through.
Right.
That I was able to get,
Not the swimmers.
your swimmers.
Not the swimmers.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep this PG and not be.
For the kids are watching. Your Brady Bunch is watching.
I mean, because otherwise I'd be a little bit more vocal. But I'm trying to keep it PG because I don't know if grandmama and them may try to watch this and she gonna, grandmama was out there, but then now that she's older, I know that child didn't just say that. No, I don't want.
Thank you for being.
I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody.
Right. And I'm really hoping young women who may be like experiencing some of this stuff and don't and a lot of parents, a lot of women just simply don't know, and it's kind of hard to teach a child something, what to look out for if you didn't even do it yourself. So with this information, which is one of the reasons why we want to make sure we come out and talk about this kind of thing, even though I can't relate, I can comprehend. is a very important thing to make sure we spread the information so that young women listening to this and watching this, please go and get checked out. You want to know, you want to be prepared to make proper decisions in your life and the life of children that you may bring into this world. You want
And
to
even
know
if it's not a woman, even for the men, if there's a man that's watching it, because
Right.
a lot of times a woman can be with a man and they think that, oh, it's all her that can't get, that's why they can't get pregnant. And it could be that it's him too.
right,
But
right.
in the African American community, men have that pride, like they supposed to be able to make babies. I mean, and like I've said before I think to you all before, like if a woman go to the club and she meet a man and she's 36 years old and they be like, you don't have no kids, you think, oh, what's wrong with her? She ain't got no kids. What's wrong with
Mm.
her? But if you meet a man that's 36 and don't have no kids, you high fiving your home girl, like, girl, he a keeper, girl. He ain't got no kids. He ain't got no baby
Yeah,
mama.
right.
He ain't got to worry. Yeah, I get all his money because he ain't going no child support. We got all this. See, you start thinking about other stuff. I mean, but for women, if they don't have kids, it's always like, what's wrong with her? And, you know, and in the African American community, we've been, you know, bred that, you know, Black women, we're supposed to be the backbone. We're supposed to be the family. We're supposed to make the families. And the men, yeah, they all go out and be the breadwinners, but it's not y'all really, it's not on the man to really take care of the kids and to make babies like the moms is. I mean, because the courts even look at it that way. You go to court, even though a man wants his child, they're gonna give mother the first deal before they get a man. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to us as women, when you want to have a child, it's a conscious decision. I mean, some babies can end up being a oops baby. Some baby can just be, I wanted to be a mother and we're gonna try for it. But a lot of times when you try, it's too hard.
Yeah, and you're stressed out. That doesn't help your temple.
Your whole body.
Yeah,
because it becomes a job. It's no longer an enjoyment for pleasure. But lucky for me, all I did was just go lay on a table and the white man did what he did.
Why it's gotta be all that? Why it's got to be like that? You're starting to lose. It's starting to get tired of keeping it back. It's starting to burst out.
I'm trying to keep it back. I just lay it on the table. I let the and that's it.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't that much work. I mean, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I didn't get no enjoyment, but I enjoyed the fact that we just got it over with. It was real quick, 2-3 minutes.
Let's get this over with.
Right, come on.
Yeah, it was like a menage a double twat. It was me, him, the nurse, the embryologist.
I ain't gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna look.
What?
I'm not. No,
What?
We talk about poly, right? For real.
Yeah, we talk about poly, but I'm just saying it's a journey. But you got to be willing to. It's also a commitment, because with fertility in women, you have to also set aside to make sure you take those meds on time, because there's certain times you got to take meds, or they may have you shooting yourself with some type of needle or injection for the type of medication that you may need. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to have a child, and you find out that you have this syndrome, you need to make sure this is something you really want to do, because it's not something you take lightly, or a journey that you take lightly with trying to have a child, because it can be stressful, not just mentally, but it can be stressful monetarily. It depends on your insurance. And it was stressful for me just today going out the house and I saw that gas was $4.15. That's my
listen. That hit it.
Don't go there. Now
we got to make life choices. Everybody making life choices because gas.
I started looking at that gas price like, do I really want to buy some diapers? I mean, it was like,
that's for real. That's for real.
So you got to make sure you got your priorities together. So even like I said, at an older age, it was easy to make that decision, because sometimes you may be a little financially stable more than what you would have been in your 20s when it comes to having children.
Right. And with that being said, I would guess that it's becoming more common. Mm-hmm. This option is becoming more of a commonplace choice that women are actually taking, being proactive with, and not it being some reactive choice. It's more of a proactive choice, and they're actually intentionally making this choice to have children whenever they choose. It's more of a, it has a time thing, and they can choose when they want to do it more.
I hate to say that they can just cut you out, DeCarlo, because in reality, if a woman wants to be a mother nowadays, she doesn't necessarily physically need that man. She can just go to the fertility clinic like we did, and you just put in what type of man you're looking for, and they just shoot out a filter and let you know what donors are available, and there you go. You can be a single mother because you wanted to be a single mother and never even met this man, don't know what he looks like, don't know nothing about him, but you have a child that you love, and you're thankful that he took the time out of his day to go to the doctor's office, well, go to some clinic and donate.
And so we need our young men, we need our Black men as well to go and see if you're a match for donations or sperm donors, because we didn't have too many African
You don't
American.
have too many African American.
Yeah. So that being said, we had I'm gonna point out as a Black man, Black men who may be watching and listening to this, it's kind of hard to complain to Black women if they come in with a lot of mixed children, and this is the option that they chose, but they didn't have any Black men specimen to use because you're not taking part in doing this. I know the ego is something that we do, as you said before. I can do it for free. I want to go to a natural route, but sometimes the natural route is not very a good route for the person, as we just spoke tonight. When women with PCOS, it's a difficult thing. So we need to give our Black women more options to receive our seed so we can keep our nation, our people going with Black children. It's kind of hard to pick if slim pickings if you're not even going to the clinics and doing the thing.
Doing the thing, and you can get paid to do the thing.
You need that check.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, you can get different type of medical testing I'm saying, and you don't even know to find out about your own background. What I'm saying is this:
you need
a man can go to be a donor, and they're gonna do all these different tests on you, and maybe you wasn't planning on donating, but you can just get free testing of some sort. You can find out your own background, your own medical history, just because I know in the end it was a selfish act because you just said, I'm gonna go donate. But you can find out that you had sickle cell trait and didn't even know you had sickle cell.
Right.
That's a breakthrough for adopted children, foster kids that don't, have any history of, their family history. This, like you said, this is a way for them to find that out.
You just go get tested and you be like, I got sickle cell, or I got this.
Yep.
You can find out you have all different types of other genetic defects.
And now you're informed. Now you know. And then the more you know, the more you grow.
Right. I want to put up a little basic graph for the IVF process. So for those who need more visual.
So how long did the process go? He's going over the process.
Well, at first it's not you can't get diagnosed, but then you have your ovarian stimulation. Stimulation goes about 15 days, 10 to 15 days. And that's what you taking different type of hormone drugs that you have to inject in you have to not be afraid of needles. So you're going to end up sticking yourself every night, all day, taking different pills. You're going to have to stay on track to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Because if not, you're not going to make you're not going to stimulate a lot of embryos. So a lot of eggs. So when you end up having what they call your retrieval, you end up having 2 or 3 eggs that they retrieve. And not every egg is going to be mature. And what this process people don't realize is the egg's going to have to grow outside the body in an incubator for 3 to 5 days. And if it grows 5 days, that is good, because that means when they end up doing the egg transfer, that embryo has a better chance of implantation in that woman. And it's a process. And so you have to really commit and stick to the timeline, because if they say, hey, you need to do your injections every night at 7 o'clock for 15 days at 7 p.m., you have to make sure you do it at 7 p.m. I took my meds with me to work, and at 7 o'clock every night, they knew what I had to do. I used to tell them, I got to step out. I'm ready to do this. I got to do this. And they understood. Because that's what I was doing. So you have to commit and take those meds and be able, this is where you can't be shy about the needles. You can't be like, I can't do this because I'm afraid of needles. If you're afraid of needles, this is not the process for you. You have to fully commit. And when I say fully commit, you got to stay on that schedule. You got to stay on that regiment, because if you don't and you mess up, especially when you spending $20,000-$30,000 to do this, you better commit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to start over.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because
You don't
now
want
you
to start over.
start
Your
over
money gone.
and you want to now you got to take out loans or
Mm-mm.
whatever. You don't do it, so you better commit, because you're committing, and this is a lot of money. If you feel like you got money you could throw away like that, then don't do it.
Right.
I mean, but you have to commit.
Awesome. Well, we have ran out of our, we normally do a 30-minute show.
Mhm.
We will be talking about this a lot more. I feel like this is something that our viewers have had connected with, and then out of the 200 and something thousand people that watched the Judge Mathis show, they really connected to that in the comments as well. And I've received messages and things about this particular subject. So we will talk about this a little bit more another time. But we really thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Right.
I need some more recipes.
You need some more recipes.
Hercules.
Because your 5-course dinners are just excellent. Just better than the restaurant. Better than the restaurant. I can't wait to see whenever babies grow up. I want you to get back to doing you.
Yeah. I can be I can do. I know your food is good, but I just want to make sure I taste it for the children. It's for the kids. Sure. It's for the kids. I just want to make sure.
You doing something good when he's 5 now, but when the 4-year-old is around there, he don't want no chicken noodle soup. Mm-mm. He don't want no vegetable soup. He don't do that. He wants the soup. He calls it number 1, because when I do 5-course meals, the first course is soup. Mm-hmm. And he likes the lobster bisque soup or the seafood bisque soup.
I'm telling you.
How is it that a 4-year-old gonna tell you, no, Mom, I want the number 1?
You better not bring no chef boy in here. Get that out of my face. Get that out of my face.
Yeah, he wants the number 1 soup. He wants
oodles and noodles. I don't want no oodles and noodles.
No. He wants the number 1 soup. So yeah, I mean, hey, the 20-month-old last night was eating him some short ribs.
Oh Lord, yeah, bless his heart.
Yeah.
I like to watch kids eat because it be looking good.
I don't believe it.
What?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You got to prove it. I don't believe it.
Well, we told you come on up and
get
a plate.
I'm gonna have to make a little trip.
A little trip.
Right.
Trip.
All right then.
All right. Well, if y'all need me if you want to continue this conversation again, as far as going into depth on how this whole IVF work. I'm like a pro at it because I done did it fresh.
You never did it three times.
I did it 3 times and got pregnant every time.
3 times.
I heard that.
Lady.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. It's very informative.
Thank you, Malika, love you.
Right. And anything else?
No.
Hey, Carla, I'm telling you, gourmet babies. I'm telling you, ladies.
Gourmet.
It ain't never too late. Go ahead.
It's never too late to make a gourmet baby by yourself.
Oh Lord!
You don't need a man. I mean, you need his stuff, his specimen.
Right.
But you can just go to the clinic and let the doctor give the doctor 2 minutes of your time. He can get you, and he'll get you pregnant and get you your gourmet baby.
Heavyweight bout.
Right.
3 minutes.
All right. Well,
thank you so much. Join us next week on Limitless Talk. We're going to have a Real Talk parenting coach join us, and we're going to talk about parenting. And yes, parenting. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good night.
Good night.
What's going on, everybody? This is your girl, Allison Morris, and I want to invite you to tune in to the Limitless Talk right here on Real Women Radio. You can tune in every Monday at 5:30 p.m. for the Limitless Talk, a new segment on Q Lala's Doing the Most with Q Lala.
Now, this is a limited series, and IG Chromosome will be joining the discussion. We'll cover different topics that are definitely needed to be chewed and digested to the bone. Find out more next Monday, February 21st at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.